Now, to begin with, just let's do a small exercise. Think about your hands for a moment, right? And then make a tight fist right now. Hold it. Keep it tight. Keep holding. Make it as tight as possible. Feel that tension, right? And now imagine holding that fist clenched for hours, days, months, years. Sounds exhausting? थोड़ा थोड़ा दर्द हो रहा है? Everybody? Right? Okay, let's let it go. Now, that's exactly what we do, not with our hands, but with our hearts. We grip onto things that are long gone. We clutch relationships that have ended. We hold tight to versions of ourselves that no longer exist. We carry grudges like precious cargo, replaying conversations from 3 years ago as if they happened yesterday. And we wonder why we are so tired. So, today we are going to talk about one of life's most difficult yet liberating skills, learning the art of letting go gracefully. Let me tell you about Meera. She's 42, successful by every measure. She's still angry at her parents for choosing her engineering stream in 11th standard. 25 years later, she's built a good life, but that resentment, it sits in her chest like a stone. Or let me talk about Ara, a 17-year-old who checks his ex-girlfriend's Instagram 17 times a day. She's moved on, but he's stuck in a loop of what if and why wasn't I enough? Now his friends have stopped inviting him out because every conversation ends up about her. Or think about that colleague who got the promotion you deserved, that friend who betrayed your trust, and that dream you had to abandon, that version of yourself before marriage, before parenthood, before even life happened. So we all have our stories. We carry them everywhere, and then we complain about back pain. Yeah, here's the truth. Most of us don't want to hear. Holding on doesn't change the past, it just ruins the present. So now, before you think I'm asking you to just forget and move on, of course I'm not. That's not letting go, that's suppressing. That's different. Letting go means accepting what you cannot change. It's not saying it didn't matter, it's saying it mattered, it hurt, and I'm choosing not to let it define my future. Look at autumn. Every year, trees let go of their leaves, not because the leaves were beautiful, not because they failed, but because holding on would prevent new growth. See, nature teaches us so very subtle things. Autumn teaches us that letting go is not loss, it's the beginning of renewal. The tree doesn't stand there thinking, but I love those leaves. How can I just let them fall? It simply releases them. It trusts the process. And come spring, new leaves, always. So, what are we actually holding on to? Grudges. That aunt who made a comment about your weight at a wedding 3 years ago, or that teacher who said you would never amount to anything, or that friend who didn't show up when you needed them. Every time you replay these moments, you give them power. You're essentially letting these people live rent free in your head. Or expectations, the biggest source of our suffering. We expect our parents to understand us the way our friends do. We expect our partners to know what we need without us saying it. Or we expect life to be fair. That our life isn't fair, it's just life. So when you release the expectation of how things should be, you can finally see things how they actually are. Or the past versions of yourself, the size 28 waist, the straight A student, the carefree 20-year-old before responsibilities, or you're holding on to a person who no longer exists. And that's okay. Evolution isn't failure. You're not supposed to be who you were 10 years ago. And control. And this is the big one. We think if we just hold on tight enough, plan enough, worry enough, we can control outcomes. But here's what no one tells you: holding on blocks new blessings. Your hands are so full of what was that there's no space for what could be. So, if letting go is so beneficial, why is it so difficult, right? Because we confuse letting go with giving up. But there's a difference. A mother says, if I stop worrying about my son's career, doesn't that mean I don't care? A teenager thinks, if I move on from this heartbreak, does that mean the relationship meant nothing? A professional wonders, if I stop being angry about being passed over, aren't I just accepting defeat? No, that is definitely not the case. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means moving forward in peace. It means you care about yourself as much as you care about the situation. It means the relationship mattered, but your mental health matters more. It means you're not accepting defeat, you're choosing your battles wisely. Also, we are culturally programmed to hold on to, log kya kahenge, a very famous phrase in our families, makes us hold on to marriages that died years ago. But they are family, makes us tolerate disrespect. I've already invested so much time, makes us stay in situations that drain us, and we call it loyalty. But sometimes it's just fear disguised as virtue. So, how do we practice this graceful release? How do we let go without feeling like we are losing? First, acknowledge the weight. Yes, you have to acknowledge it. You can't release what you won't admit you are carrying. Just name it. Like, I'm angry at my father. I'm angry at my spouse. I resent my career path. Or I miss who I used to be. Once you name it, it loses some power because now you're acknowledging it. Second, practice forgiveness, not for them, but for your own self. Yes, forgiveness is for your own self. Forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was okay. It means you are no longer willing to carry the poison. That colleague who got your promotion, they're sleeping peacefully, and you are the one losing sleep. So who's really being punished? You. So the forgiveness is for you. The number three, release with gratitude. Now, this is the secret. Don't just let go. Thank it for what it taught you. That heartbreak, it taught you what you don't want. That failure, it redirected you to something better. That difficult person, they showed you your own strength. And then finally, surrender to the process. Not everything needs to be understood. Not every ending needs closure. Sometimes you just need to say, this chapter is done and close the book. The universe has a better memory than you do. It won't forget what's meant for you. So I want you to imagine something. Imagine waking up tomorrow and that grudge you've held for 5 years, gone. That resentment towards your past, released. That anxiety about what could have been, dissolved. So, how much lighter would you feel? Just imagine. How much space would you have for joy, for new possibilities, for peace? So, forgiveness, release, and surrender clear emotional clutter. They are like Marie Kondo for your heart. So, does this grudge spark joy? No. Thank it for its service and let it go. There's a beautiful Urdu couplet that says, जो बिखर गया है उसे समेटो मत नया नए फूलों के लिए जगह बनाओ. So don't gather what has scattered, make space for new flowers. That's the art of letting go gracefully. It's not about forgetting, it's about making space. It is something I want you to remember. You know, every sunset is a lesson in letting go. The sun doesn't cling to the sky saying, no, no, I'm not done yet. It gracefully releases the day, trusts the darkness, and knows with certainty that it will rise again. So you are like that sun. What you release in grace will return to you in abundance. Maybe not in the same form, but in the form you truly need. So tonight, I want you to do something powerful. Write a release letter. It can be to a person, to a situation, a belief, or even a version of your own self. Anything you have been holding on to. Yes, that release letter. Write everything you need to say. Pour it out. Don't hold back. And then end the letter with these exact words. I now release this with gratitude and peace. Let me say it again. I now release this with gratitude and peace. Read it once, slowly. Feel the weight of those words. Then tear it up, or it's safe to burn it. Watch it turn to ash, or you can even flush it. I'm sure many of you remember the scene in Jab We Met, right? They did the same thing. They burned it and flushed it. Yes, so you can do the same. So that's your letting go ceremony. No, it might sound weird, but it actually works. So that's you taking your power back. You don't need closure from anyone else. You don't need permission to move on. You just need to choose yourself. Let go. Not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to carry only what serves you. The tree knows this. The sunset knows this. So now it's your turn. Release, renew, and rise. So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Thank you.